Good evening and welcome everyone to Tea Time Tuesday. Tonight, we're so excited that you have joined us. And truly, we are excited that you have taken the time to come out for Tea Time Tuesday for a time of pause, a time of reset and building resilience. And we want to say thank you for taking the time to join us with our flexible. We had a couple of technical difficulties tonight. And so we thank you for your flexibility and your patience as we get things ready for Tea Time Tuesday. And we hope that you have bought your tea, your journal. I'm telling you, tonight we have some really great renewal practices that we're going to be looking into, and all about it's going to be very affirming. So tag your friends, invite your family and your friends. We're streaming live over there like we always do on YouTube. And so we're going to ask that you would like and subscribe and invite others. And so we're going to go ahead and get started. Once again, we are grateful that you're joining us here at the Renewal Center. This is a place of hospitality, and we're so glad that you are coming on board with us tonight. There's the picture of the Renewal Center. We are the Center for Prophetic Thought, Art, Voice, and Action, and we say welcome. Hospitality says welcome at the Renewal Center, and there's so much in store at the Renewal Center on our site. We welcome you. It's just a wonderful place to come and to join us with a wonderful workspace. We have a wonderful cafe. Of course, we have an art and voice room, a place that you can come and work and generate ideas. It's just a wonderful place to just do some wonderful work. And so we invite you to come join us on site at the Renewal Center. We'll share a little bit more about the Renewal Center as we go along at the end on our announcements. And so we are continuing in the month of March. as March comes to a close, we're actually going to close out our Tea Time Tuesday this week with National Women's History Month. And so this has been really great. This is our time to celebrate and to honor the many contributions, the accomplishments, and the achievements of women throughout history, the contributions made to our communities, our family, the world around us. And so we're going to continue to honor that awareness for the rest of the week as we segue into the month of April. And so as we are taking our time, we're going to bring everybody in. We see people are joining us. Hello, Nicole and Michelle, Monique, Renita. We see a whole lot of people chiming in tonight. Please, we want to ask you, please invite your friends. This is going to be a great time as we have a special edition of honoring women for National Women's History Month. This is a great time. And so go ahead and tag your friends and invite them to come on in. And so we have a very unique tea that we're going to be talking about for our tea of the week. Our tea of the week is apple mint tea. I'm telling you, this is a very tasty tea. It's very unique. It's very well liked over there in Europe, very popular there. And this tea has a nice minty, of course, because it is a mint tea, a nice minty taste, a crisp taste with the apple. And it's really asking you to create it by getting some dried apple and some mint leaves and combining them. I was very interesting to find out more information about this, but this could be served hot or cold and enjoyed by anyone at any time, any season. And so our tea of the week, once again, is apple mint tea. So while we are getting ourselves together, hope you bought your tea and your journal. We're going to go right in to our time of locating ourselves. So Hope is going to take us into locating ourselves today.
Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Tea Time community. Just excited to be here with all of you. And for our regular Tea Time community, as we know, it's time for us to take a time to pause and locate ourselves. If you are new to Tea Time Tuesday, this is a time where we take just a moment to kind of just pause and just allow ourselves to locate where we are. We're going to relax our shoulders, relax our fingers, take some deep breaths in and out just for a few moments. So we'll go ahead and go into our locate ourselves this evening. Yes. Isn't that great? All right. Isn't that great, Carmela, Patrick? Just the time we're able to just locate ourselves, Tea Time community. You know, after the hustle and bustle of the day, we're being intentional about taking a moment to pause and get ready for tea time. So I hope that you guys have your journals out and that you're ready, your tea time journals, and that you're ready and going to go ahead and turn it over to Patrick, who will lead us into our tea time this evening.
Thank you so much, Hope. Thank you, Carmela. Folks, as you're out there, welcome, Tea Timers. And again, thank you so much for connecting with us. We know Tea Time Tuesday is about pausing, right? About resetting ourselves and building resilience. And we do that through community. So please share with us what your tea of choice is this evening. I have my ginger turmeric this evening. And so I'm so grateful that we were able to pause and center ourselves this evening. So please share with us your tea of choice. I see you got water over there, Hope. All right.
Yeah.
Good. Mel, what you got over there?
I have lavender cream tea.
Lavender
I put some
cream
cream in my lavender.
tea.
I put some cream in my lavender tea.
Okay. All right. I'm going to have to taste that. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Nicole says, I pick apple mint leaves from my community garden. Delicious.
Nice.
Thank you for sharing that. Yes. Yes. Anybody, just let us know what your tea of choice is this evening.
Right.
Mildred says she has honey ginger tea. Dr. Paul Brown, yeah, hey, water. All right. Renita says spice tea. I know what that is. Excellent. Excellent. Anybody else, please share with us what is your tea of choice this evening. We want to hear from you. We have located ourselves. We have centered ourselves. And again, today is our, let's see here, water. All right. Refreshing yourself. Yes. London fog. Okay.
All right.
All right. All right. Please feel free to tag your friends. Please feel free to share this on your page. All right. Water. Yes, this is a refreshing evening. All right. Thank you all for chiming in and connecting this evening. Today is as we honor Women's History Month. We wanted to focus specifically on honoring ourselves. And so today's tea time, as we know, it is about pausing, right? It is about resetting and building resilience. We're going to really build resilience through the renewal practice that we have this evening. So I hope that you have your journal, your tea time journal. You're somewhere really set. And today's focus is about honoring Women's History Month, the renewal practice of honoring yourself and others. Honoring yourself. Go ahead and place that in the comments. Honoring yourself. The importance of honoring yourself and why it's so important that we're able to do that. So today's renewal practice, as we honor Women's History Month, is about the practice of honoring yourself and others. And what we decided to do this evening was look up some very potent sayings and quotes, some insights from women in history and contemporary, in extracting some renewal practices to honor ourselves. And so how we can all glean from these renewal practices to help us be more effective. So please place in the comments, honoring yourself. That's our emphasis for today, so that we can also honor others. When we honor ourselves, we will also honor others. So let's break down the definition of honoring ourselves. Let's start with that first, so we can all be on the same page. I want to welcome everybody to the tea time. So let's read this together. Even if you're home out loud, let's get all of our senses together. To honor oneself is to respect, admire, and appreciate yourself. To accept all parts of ourselves, the good and bad, the perfect and imperfect, the disappointments and triumphs. All right. Honoring ourselves is to respect and admire and appreciate yourself. Wow. To accept all parts of ourselves, the good and bad, the perfect and imperfect, the disappointments and triumphs. So when we talk about a renewal practice of honoring yourself, this is what we mean about honoring ourselves, because many times we don't do that enough, because we live in a world that is really, there's negativity, there's negative energy. We look at what's wrong with us. We look at that's not well, or I don't have this. And so it's so easy for us to dishonor ourselves when we're so focused on what's not happening. So I like us to really think about, how do we respect ourselves? How do we admire ourselves? How do we even show appreciation for ourselves? And then accept all parts of ourselves, the things that are good, things that are bad, things that are perfect and imperfect, and disappointments and triumphs. So before we move forward, Hope and Mel, I want to hear from your thoughts when we think about this definition of honoring yourselves, and in light of the renewal practice this evening about honoring ourselves and others. What thoughts come to you? What reflections come to you as it relates to this definition of honoring oneself? Feel free.
Okay, well then I'll go ahead and share that when I think about what you've stated here to honor oneself, the first thing that comes to my mind, like always, when we're embracing ourselves, we're embracing the uniqueness because there is only one me. And so when I'm honoring myself, I'm honoring all of me. And I like the fact that you have listed what that means. I mean, there's all different parts here. The good, the bad, the perfect, imperfect, the disappointments, the triumphs. That means it encompasses every facet of my of who I am, the totality of who Carmela is. And so when I'm honoring me, I'm honoring the very essence of myself. So that's what it would mean to me in my own plain language, my own way of expressing that is the totality of who I am. Because there is only one Camilla.
Absolutely. I appreciate you using the word essence because, the world that we live in, it's so much pressure for people to conform to dominant cultures and certain innuendos or narratives that are communicated to us through various forms. So absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Hope any thoughts on that as far as honoring yourselves and others.
Well, my thoughts, first thing that came to mind for me was my authenticity, who I am, embracing who I am in totality is being authentic, meaning being true to myself, being true to my good, my strong points, and being true to maybe those areas that may not be as strong. And so I believe in honoring ourselves and honoring others. We have to be true to ourselves and true to others. So when I think of that, I think of authenticity, meaning that I'm true to who I am. And when I'm true to who I am, I also can be, embrace honoring others and who they are and them being true to themselves as well. So when I think of honoring that, honoring oneself, I think of authenticity.
All right. Essence. And then we also have authenticity. Thank you for sharing that, Hope. I want to hear from you, tea timers. What does honor yourself mean to you? We want to start with honoring yourself, even though, of course, we've used a common definition. In your experience, how are you honoring yourself? Or what does honor yourself mean to you? So our renewal practice this evening, as we honor Women's History Month, and we draw from these historical figures and contemporary figures, I'd like to start out with our first renewal practice. All right, our first one is Serena Williams says this: I really think a champion is defined not by their wins, but by how they can recover when they fall. The first renewal practice is honor how you got up. Let's put that in our journals this evening, our tea time journals. Put it in your thought process. Honor how you got up. I want you to take your time with this, all right? This is important because if we're going to honor ourselves, it's important for us to honor how we got up, not just because of a win, but how we got up after we had an experience that was challenging, that was difficult, that was a fall. Honor how you got up. Now, Mel or Hope, if you want to really share some thoughts and perspectives on that, please feel free to jump right in. I think it's important that we honor how we got up, mainly because there are some important principles that we can really embody when we focus on how we got up versus just the win. And looking at the importance of how did I get to this place where I got up after a fall or even after a failure, and how important that is for us to honor that part of our lives, not only the wins. And so I think it's important that we take some time to look at that part of who we are and really thinking through how you got up. So I'd like to ask our tea timers today, as we're focusing on honoring yourself, think about what does it honor yourself mean to you, and how can you honor getting up? Honoring getting up. Really, let's meditate on that and locate ourselves in this area. I'll say this again. I really think a champion is defined not by their wins, but how they can recover when they fall. Honor how you got up. Mel or Hope, thoughts on this one? Honoring how you got up.
I think it speaks to, I think that whole thing speaks to courage. It takes courage to get up. I kind of looking at it metaphorically, we scrape our knees and it looks pretty bad, but it takes courage to get up from that. The embarrassment, maybe what you went through it wasn't a great thing, but you got up. And it speaks to the honoring piece of that, speaks to the resilience of allowing yourself to grow. And it's not how, I love what you stated there in that quote. Yeah, we have the wins and we do have the milestones, but it takes a lot of courage and confidence, self-confidence to say, I got up from that and I can do this. And it pushes you. I think that it teaches you, and a lot of lessons that we learn, it shows us to be more self-aware and have more self-compassion about ourselves.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm also thinking about how sometimes we're so critical of ourselves, especially for people who have a tendency to be perfectionists.
Right.
And it's like, if you're so focused on being a perfectionist and everything's got to be done right, honor when things aren't going well, and honoring being able to get up from that place where all the ducks aren't in the row, all the I's are not dotted and the T's crossed, even in those areas that we learn how to honor ourselves when things seem to be very difficult and challenging. So I just wanted to just piggyback on that, Mel. Hope any thoughts on that when we think about honoring ourselves as it relates to honor how you got up.
Well, when you were talking, Carmela, you said the word resilience. And as we know, resilience is how we, the opportunity to kind of spring back and bounce back after life's challenging situations and circumstances. So I just think that resilience is important in getting back up, and honoring how I got back up is being able to take that strength. And we know that tea time, we pause, reset, and what we build resilience. Then building resilience meaning I have to build up some time to get up, have to build myself up to get back up, and reinforce those positive thoughts and reinforce those positive mindset and getting up. And even when we get up sometimes, just even from for me, like when you face situations that it may not turn out the way that you thought it would turn out. You may be disappointed. And so sometimes it's just taking on a different perspective and mindset, even in a situation that did not turn out the way that you thought it to turn out, and try to change the perspective and get back up with a different perspective, with a fresh outlook and a fresh focus, and helping to build the resilience and strength through challenging situations and circumstances.
Yes. And I think it's important that we do that. As we continue to do that and reinforce it, we're lifting somebody else up in the midst of that. And so even our tea timers that are out there, the way we build community, the way we build resilience is how we honor how I got up. Let's hear a couple of things from our audience here, our tea timers that are out there. Hope you want to take this first one here.
Sure. I honor myself by being kind to myself in thought and actions. Thanks for sharing, Michelle.
How about this one? Go ahead.
Grateful for the spirit of resilience and the ability to go on in spite of failures in life. Thank you, Monique.
All right, Mel, you want to share these next two? There's some comments coming in.
Okay. Michelle is coming back again. She's saying, I honor myself by speaking life into myself, which empowers me to get up. Even once I'm up, I continue with the enriching self-talk. That's great.
Thank you. How about this one?
Mildred, she's saying, being true to your convictions and strength. Thank you for that comment, Mildred.
Yeah. Okay, share this one if you don't mind, Carmela.
Okay. Miss Anita, she's saying absolutely. I was raised to perform, quote unquote, and was a huge perfectionist. I honor the fact that I learned to start letting go and knowing when to say when.
All right. Thank you
That
for
is
sharing it.
powerful. Yeah.
And hope you can share this one here.
All right. Reflecting on my recovery helps me to keep going and persevere, Renita. Thank you so much for sharing.
All right. Thank you so much. And lastly, one more.
Being gentle and kind with myself. Thank you so much for sharing, Ravella.
Absolutely. So I want to encourage everybody, let's look at these comments and take some things that are applicable for you. That's how you build resilience. Many of these folks that are probably sharing honor themselves by getting up various situations. And so we can really glean in this community by honoring how you got up. So I want to encourage you, and you know, because tea time is about pausing, take a pause and think about whatever has been difficult. Honor how you can get up. Honor how you got up. That helps you shift from the negative to the positive. Doesn't mean that we deny it. Okay.
Right.
Doesn't mean that we cast it away. We're not saying that at all. But I think it's also important that we help ourselves create a new narrative by honoring how we got up. So I want to thank everybody for that first renewal practice. Again, is about honoring how you got up. Let's go to the next one. All right. All right. Frida Kahlo says this: nothing is worth more than laughter. It is a strength to laugh and to abandon oneself to be light. Honor how you laughed at yourself. He said, well, wait a minute, Patrick. What does this have to do with building resilience and honoring? Because we live in a world, many times we take ourselves way too seriously.
Yes.
I mean, just way too seriously. Nothing is worth more than laughter. It is a strength to laugh and to abandon oneself, to be lighthearted, right? And so I want us to think about honor. Here's our next renewal practice today. Honor how you laughed at yourself.
I like that.
Now, I know that might be, what do you mean? You know, you made a mistake. Or, you know, many times our physiology, our mindset, we're wired for looking at what's negative, or wired or what's not working, or wired or how the project's not meeting its deliverables, or I'm not able to get this accomplished. Honor how you laugh at yourself. For the serious folks in the room. Honor how you laughed at yourself. Now, this is an important renewal practice. All right. All of us have space to evolve. We all have space to grow. We all have space to renew ourselves. This is ongoing. All right. So, what is part of this renewal practice this evening? Taking some time and honoring how to laugh at yourself when things don't always go the way that you want them to go. Or something, you know, something happened, and instead of me perhaps reacting in a way that I normally am automatically reacting, let's honor how you laughed at yourself. So Hope, thoughts on this? And I want to hear from you as well, and also from our tea timers today. Honor how, you know, as a renewal practice, honor how you know, laugh at yourself. Thoughts on that?
Well, when I hear that, it kind of like gives that, you know, feel of lighten up, you know, kind of lighten up on yourself. Sometimes when you are used to doing things, you know, maybe perfectionist or in excellence, just kind of taking that moment to just embrace not, you know, making things such a deep experience. Take a moment to breathe and enjoy life. Find some humor in something that may have happened. And I love to laugh, so I try to find humor, because sometimes I can be deep, and then sometimes, you know, but it's about having balance too. You know, bringing that balance in to let go and allow yourself to honor yourself by laughing at yourself. And I know that kind of sounds kind of funny, because it's like honor yourself while laughing, but it's a way of just kind of saying, you know what, I'm not going to take this situation, this circumstance so serious to where I'm
Right.
just in a place of just you know, bondage or stress. And so
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you just have to take a moment and embrace the laughter of what you've experienced. Find something funny in it. May not find it right in that moment, but eventually you'll find it. And so it's good to keep that balance. It's good to have that balance in, especially depending on how life is. Some things can be so serious,
Yeah.
but just embracing those moments where you can laugh at yourself. And what about somebody laughing with you while you're laughing at yourself?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Have a
like
little fun with it, and that's really good. So yeah.
I appreciate you sharing that, because even when we were starting to start at 7 this evening, and, Mel was like, you sound like you're underwater, the Wi-Fi was jacked up at the RC. It's like, okay, well, I'll go home. I was like, might as well just laugh it off. You know what I mean? It is what it
Yeah.
is. So, I chuckled a little bit. It was like, well, okay, it's all good, and just keep moving. So you're right. Thank you for sharing that. Carmel, any thoughts on that? The whole foundation of a practice of honoring, laughing at yourself. Thoughts on that?
Yeah, one of the things that Hope said, I wrote it down, is lighten up. Inside of that quote, the word light was there. And I mean, just the fact that we're talking about laughter, you can feel the shift right there. I mean,
Yeah.
something that Hope just said is, joining in, somebody else joining in with you to laugh.
Yeah.
It just creates a lively environment. And when you just bring it all in and you see yourself in a situation, you're like, and you start laughing, it kind of reduces the stress that you put on yourself. And it may seem like, like laugh at yourself, but laughter is good for the soul. Laughter, it opens up an environment where you're like, okay, I could see through another lens, okay, and not be so self-critical,
Right.
And so I like it. And laughter just changes and shifts your whole mood. So I think that's a good renewal practice when you're aligning that with honoring yourself, because then you're not so self-critical. And I think we all can use a little bit of laughter.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's just put this in as a renewal practice. Everybody put in the comments, lighten up. Lighten up. Lighten up. Lighten up. Tell your friends, lighten up. Everybody else, lighten up. Lighten up, y'all. Lighten up. Let's do that. It's so important that we're able to do that. So I wanted us to hone in on that one as a renewal practice. We talked about honoring how you got up, and now honoring how you laughed at yourself. I want you to think about a scenario where you laughed at yourself. But if you can't, then that means you need to lighten up. You lighten up a little bit there. Let's get a couple of these comments that are coming in here. Everybody lighten up. All right. That's the renewal practice for today. Lighten up. Okay. It's important.
Yes.
Michelle says here, learning and honoring, laughing at myself helped me to overcome perfectionism and stoicism.
Okay.
Thank you for sharing that. All right. See what happens when you laugh? You can overcome being perfectionistic, y'all, and stoic. Like Spock. I'm not laughing. So, absolutely. All right.
Oh, goodness.
Now, let me read this one from Renita. What does she have to say here?
Okay. All right, Renita. Okay. She's saying, why so serious, right? I laugh at myself at work at least once a week. In the midst of the chaos of life, I gotta laugh to keep my sanity and keep things lighthearted. It tends to carry over to my coworkers and friends to do the same for themselves. Less stress. Yes, Renita. Thank you for sharing that, sis.
Yes. Go ahead. This one too.
Ravella. Okay, Ravella, she's saying laughter lets us remove the rigid way we view ourselves and things. Laughter is grace and self-compassion in motion.
Wow. The rigid way we view ourselves and things. Folks, we got to laugh because we might stay rigid and we can't break free of certain narratives and patterns. All right. Laughter is good medicine. Yes, yes, yes. Coming in. Laughter is good medicine that I honor daily. All right. Lighten up, everybody. Lighten up. Lighten up, everybody, tea timers. Go ahead and sip your tea and lighten up a little bit. All right. Help us out and sip your water and lighten up a little bit. All right. I know that the world, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. But let's learn how to honor ourselves by laughing at ourselves periodically. You say, well, that doesn't make much sense. You see, just saying that response, laugh at that too. Shaking our head, negative, laughter brings you up and lifts us up. All right. So it's important that we're able to do that ourselves and really bring that kind of energy into a room and into a space that we can help shift environments because we're the ones honoring ourselves. All right. So let's keep going. A couple more things. So, all right. So honoring how you laughed at yourself. Let's go to the next renewal practice. And again, what is our emphasis today? Honoring Women's History Month, the renewal practice of honoring yourself and others. Here's the next one. All right, Shirley Chisholm. I really enjoyed that Netflix, by the way. Ooh, it was great. Here's what Shirley Chisholm said. You don't make progress by standing on the sidelines, whimpering and complaining. You make progress by implementing ideas. One way that we can really build resilience and renew ourselves is honor how you implemented an idea. In a world where there's about problems and things that are not working, I want you to think about how are you honoring yourself, how you implemented an idea. Now let's take our time with this. This is a powerful quote. Let's say this again. You don't make progress by standing on the sidelines, whimpering and complaining, right? Well, it's not happening, and this is what's happening. You make progress by implementing ideas, by Shirley Chisholm. Honor how you implemented an idea. Everybody write this down. Write it down. Let's put in the comments ideas. Ideas. It's important. Ideas. Absolutely. Ideas. Yes, it is. Laughter's good medicine, Nicole. Thank you for reminding us of that. Absolutely. Everybody write down ideas. I want you to think about ways that you have honored yourself by implementing ideas. Honor a time that you implemented an idea. Now, let's think about this as a renewal practice, the importance of honoring how you implement an idea, especially for those of us that you're around performance review time, right? And you're thinking about ways that you're growing and expanding even in your career. One way to do it is on a regular basis, track and honor how you implement ideas so that by the time you get to the end of your year and you're getting an evaluation, you don't have to bring up a whole bunch of, you don't have to start looking for ways to show your performance. You're really already thinking through ways you've implementing ideas, and not just for a performance evaluation, but how you're self-evaluating and growing yourself. You look at all these wins, all these successes. You're honoring how you got up. You're honoring how you're laughing at yourself. You're honoring how you're implementing ideas. What does that do for you? It reinforces you talking more about ideas and less about people. More about ideas and less about what's not working. More about ideas, and it also causes you to learn even more about how you implement. You learn more about implementing instead of looking at the obvious blockade or something that's in the way. You're honoring yourself by thinking about how you've implemented an idea. And the more that you do that, guess what happens? More ideas come to you. When we don't implement ideas and honor it, more ideas don't really come. Okay? Ideas favor the mind that wants to continue to produce ideas. It does. Ideas will continue to come for those who want to implement, not those that, as Shirley Chisholm says here, those that stand on the sidelines and they complain and they whimper. We only make progress by implementing ideas. So I want to just pause there. Mel, what are your thoughts on this? Hope, what are your thoughts on this? Tea timers, please feel free to share thoughts on, honoring yourself by how you implement ideas. How could that improve who you are or expand as a renewal practice in your life?
I think that when you're honoring your ideas, you're fostering creativity. And as you foster creativity, you're actually, making a contribution. Your idea could be the actual, I would say your idea generates change. It could be the actual solution to something. or it could be improving something just by implementing your idea. And I like that quote by Shirley Chisholm about standing on the sidelines and you could be a part of the solution instead of being the bystander, just, looking. And so when you're honoring yourself by looking at the contributions that you're making, because you are actually generating an original idea that comes from you.
Mm-hmm. And that lifts up who we are, and affirms who we are, and our self-image many times come not just by saying something, but we're actually doing something, and we're seeing
right.
an idea that you had, that you came up with, that you implemented. Now, here's the thing. It doesn't matter how big or small it is. It's the fact that you implemented it. That's the point. The point is not about large or small or what somebody else doing over there. No, it's about the fact that I implemented something, and I'm going to honor how I implemented an idea. Hope any thoughts on that as a renewal practice? What are your thoughts on that? You're on mute.
Oh, on mute. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Well, when I see that word implement in not complaining, progress by standing on the sidelines, whimpering and complaining, you make progress by implementing ideas. Implementing ideas helps others. And it enriches others. When I hold back and I'm just complaining about something, or just standing on the sidelines, it's denying also others as well to experience the new ideas, to experience the new revelation, to experience the innovation that will bring change. And so it's good to just come on in and implement who you are. That's why being authentically you is very important, because you can come in and implement what you have and who you are, and it helps other people, not just helping ourselves, but it also helps other people as well when I come forth and implement some ideas that may be the answer to someone's problem. So so it's good to just embrace that, and I like that quote because it gives a place of just accountability. It changes the focus and the lens on complaining in you, and it challenges you to move forward and what's on the inside of you as far as implementing those ideas, implementing creativity, implementing yourself and who you are, that will add to any situation or any room.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I got to plug this in, because the Renewal Center is a center for thought, voice, art, and action. We even have a room for creativity. See,
right.
I just got to have a shameless plug and laugh at myself, because we have an art and a voice room where you can ignite your creative ingenuity. See, that's why you should come by the Renewal Center. I'm telling you, 159 Church Street, all right, here in Concord. Just come and sit in that thought room. Come sit on the porch and just create, implement, think, talk about your ideas. Really focus on that. And that's one of the things that we exist for. Renewal is also part of creating. Everybody is creative. Everybody has the capacity to create. Yep. And so it's important that your ideas do matter. So I just wanted to hone in on that really quickly concerning the Renewal Center. Nichelle says here, creatives create and release their creations, which expands our capacity to receive and release more. Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that. Everybody put it in the comments, create. Put in the comments, create. Ideas, create. That's important as a renewal practice, all right? Honor yourself by looking at when you have implemented ideas in this season, all right? I want to encourage you to do that, because it's so easy for us to look at what's not taking place, all right?
Yeah.
Let's go to our next one. Shonda Rhimes, who actually I think created Grey's Anatomy, the originator of that, shared this: you can waste your lives drawing lines, or you can live your life crossing them. Honor how you've crossed a line versus drawing a line. Honor how you crossed a line versus drawing a line.
Oh, I like that.
Let's really think about that one. So if we're going to really strengthen ourselves, again, this is about renewed practice from Women's History Month and honoring ourselves, honoring how you cross the line versus drawing. Because many times when you live in the line, I could, growing up, elementary school, I could barely color. I was horrible. I was not the child that you would come to and see his drawing with stars on it. It'd be in the corner somewhere where my folks would come because I didn't stay in the lines. I mean, it'd be all dark in one section and it was never even. It was just all over the place, But I realized later on as I got older, I guess I was going to be just like this as a person. And so I could never color right. I didn't get coloring until like maybe a few years ago when I got one of those coloring books for adults. I'm like, oh wow, okay. Just started doing that. And, but growing up when I was younger, no stars, nothing. Just that's Patrick's okay, So I'm laughing at myself now, but I see that to say many times staying in the lines is about playing it safe too. So what are your thoughts, folks? Think about this. Honor how you cross the line. When you begin to say, I'm going to go beyond self-imposed limitations. That's what we need. We talk about crossing a line. Our crossing a line. Everybody put that in the comments. Self-imposed limitations. That when we say crossing a line, that's what we mean. There's a self-imposed limitation that I put on myself that I'm no longer going to submit to that. I'm no longer going to let that keep me boxed in. Now you got some thoughts on that. Hope any thoughts on that regarding this, honoring how you cross the line versus drawing one.
Yes. Boxing yourself in. That's one thing that, jumped out in that, and placing restrictions on ourselves. And, to the point that we don't self-explore or we don't move in self-discovery. And so I like the fact that we're talking about pushing past limitations. Instead of drawing the limitation, push past the limitation and exceed, go beyond the limitation of things holding us back from learning more, from exploring more, from experiencing more. So I think that quote, it speaks volumes. In other words, if you may put the quote back up just once more, it speaks a lot of volume as to not allowing ourselves to box ourselves in. Can you put that quote back up again, Patrick?
Sure, I can. Absolutely. We'll bring that up here. Oh, nope. Sorry, wrong one. I apologize. There we go.
Yeah, I like the fact that Shonda Rhimes here is saying she's giving you an option. It's more or less an option, but it's either you do one or the other. And why not value your time by creating opportunities for yourself to go beyond and push beyond limitations?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Any thoughts on that?
I think I like what you said, Carmela, about the, restricting yourself, kind of being boxed in. You don't allow, how else can I grow or evolve or really expound in my creativity of who I am if I'm, not willing to go maybe beyond the lines. And even with your coloring, Patrick, that you shared about, your coloring out of the lines, that has made you who you are today, because that was a part of you that allows you to move beyond the norm, right? And then you embrace that as an adult. That's just who you are. And sometimes we need to, move beyond the norm or the place of being comfortable or the place of familiarity and sometimes color outside the lines, color outside of the, the different things that, we may experience. So this is really, I think, really good, not being bound, but being free and just be who you are. And sometimes being who you are is coming out of the place of comfortability and coming out of that place where I've placed restrictions on myself.
Right.
Self-imposed restrictions on myself and my mindset that tell me that I can or I'm not able to, or will this be accepted? And sometimes you just have to move beyond the norm.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. Love Jackie says, either way, you're drawing a line. However, when you cross the line, you also open up opportunities to either heal alone or together. If not together, you created a boundary and you can still mend. I would even say you created a bridge. It's another path. Then she says, keep in mind, I just entered the chat. You're good. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. You're good. Thank you. And welcome, Love Jackie, to Tea Time. Welcome.
Yes.
Today's focus is about what we're doing is we're honoring Women's History Month by the renewal practice of honoring yourself and others. So definitely your comments are very valuable, and thank you for sharing those with us today. All right, we got some good ideas coming in. I want to share another one with you from the Wilma Mankiller, who is the first female chief of the Cherokee Nation, says in Iroquois society, leaders are encouraged to remember 7 generations in the past and consider 7 generations in the future when making decisions that affect the people. What's the renewal practice here? Honor how you decide or prepare for future generations. We're looking at honoring what we've learned from previous generations, and then we're honoring how our decisions or how we're preparing for future generations. I'm gonna let us sit with this one, and let's locate ourselves with this one. How am I honoring, right, generations in the past, and how am I considering generations in the future in my current decisions? Think about your health decisions. Think about your mental decisions, your emotional decisions. Think about your financial decisions, your nutritional decisions. Wow. Let's think about all of this and honor how you decide or prepare for future generations in light of what we've also learned. I'm gonna give us some time to meditate on this one, y'all. This one's pretty heavy to me. One way to honor ourselves is to honor what we've learned from others.
Yes.
And one way of honoring ourselves is also how we're preparing, because my decisions right now, I like to say, we make our choices and then our choices make us, right? We make our choices and our choices make us, but it also creates a world for the next generations to come. And so I think it's important as we are building resilience as part of Tea Time Tuesday, we pause, we reset, we build resilience, is really looking at generations before us and then consider 7 generations. And I thought this was powerful when I read. I had never heard of this particular quote from this individual. And I was like, wow, women's history. I was really taking the time each day to study different women in history and study what that they have shared in ways to honor them myself by looking at how we can honor by looking at what we're preparing for future generations. So I got one more renewal practice after this, but any thoughts on that? I know this is a lot. We're thinking through a lot this evening and thinking through Women's History Month in ways we can honor ourselves and others. Anything you want to share, Hope or Carmela, concerning that one? A lot to reflect on, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I like the fact that there's a very loaded quote.
Yeah.
Very loaded quote. And what I like about it, it speaks to honoring our rich heritage.
Yes.
Really looking at who's deposited and what's been deposited, the values that's been deposited into our lives, and not forgetting. That's a way of honoring what we have taken on in our current generation. What have I learned? What values have I brought with me? What has affirmed me? And so now that I'm honoring that, then I'm able to take those values and how am I going to deposit that to the next generation? That's a part of honoring the past, the present, and then honoring how it will influence the future. And so I like that because it's teaching us not to forget. That we are because of what's been deposited in us too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Hope, any thoughts on that?
I agree with Mel, just being intentional about, honoring what we have received in reference to honoring those who have paved the way, or honoring those who have shown us or paved paths, and then to continue to pave paths for those who are behind us, to be intentional about those who may be walking behind us, which is the next generations behind, that a path is already paved. And that takes intention, that takes just being mindful, as well as what am I showing someone, what was shown to me, to show it to others who are behind me, or those who are coming, up the road. Just as those who've paved the way before us, it's also paving the way for those who are behind us. And so it's a great way of bridging everything together.
Yeah.
And so that can be a place of continued growth and continued, movement, forward movement as well, and honoring the past, and also honoring the present and the future.
Richness. This is rich conversation today. And again, we're talking about honoring ourselves and others. And these are renewal practices that are so important. We got a couple of things that are coming in today I want us to think through. Monique says, I've honored how I cross the lines by not being fearful of my unique perspectives and ideas. Ravella says, life is about taking chances. Love Jackie says, as creative, we cross lines to build and to collaborate. You open yourself up to networking, which is a plus. I hope you want to take the next. Here we go.
To make progress, the turtle must stick out his neck. He moves forward to the next step. Crossing that line leads to new discoveries. Dr. Paul Brown, thank you so much for that. The turtle. Yes. All right. Crossing the line allows me to be stretched in other ways, to share, to give, to grow, to be, to learn, to evolve, and to expand.
Yeah.
Charlisa, thank you so much for sharing. All right. Who drew the line? Thanks for asking, Ravella. All right.
All right, Mel, let's take these next ones. Go ahead.
Okay, Love Jackie says crossing lines equal exploration. Thank you. And she also says we should put this one in our pocket and keep it. Ideally, this should be the intent for our families and businesses. History really does repeat itself unless someone chooses to change the trajectory of provision, life, relationships, and etc. Thank you. Thank you, Love Jackie.
All right. Love Jackie says we also see what's needed to keep going and what we can do away with. Michelle said, speaking generations is my language. I currently honor what my parents and grandparents taught me by passing it on. I'm also creating avenues and paths with the future generations in mind, teaching them along the way and instructing them to do the same with their children and grandchildren. Thank you for sharing that. Michelle Nicole says, also honoring the past by recognizing the mistakes made by previous generations that you do not want to repeat and pass on. Thank you for sharing that. Oh, wow. Renita says, this is a powerful quote. Preparing the future is a common vein in my line of work, but I honestly don't think about this enough as I should, especially as a mother. Thank you for this reminder. My decisions not only impact me and now, but others in the future. So much work to be done. This is some good stuff that we're working on today as renewal practices in the area of honoring ourselves. So again, honor how you decide to prepare for future generations. And then our last one for this evening, Never limit yourself because of others' limited imagination. Never limit others because of your own limited imagination. Wow. So again, your own. So again, of others' limited imagination and your own. Honor how you will not limit yourself or others. All right. Let's ensure that we focus on being unlimited as well as best as we can by allowing our imaginations to expand, to imagine, to stay in that space. And again, we're drawing renewal practices from Women History Month, just ways to honor yourself and to honor others. So I want to have everybody put in there in the chat your thoughts about imagination. Just write it out, imagination. You want to keep that at the forefront of your mind, focusing on imagination, focusing on expanding yourself, not limiting yourself because of somebody else's limited imagination, and not limiting others because of your own. So again, we're not just focused on your own imagination and others. Let's ensure that we don't do that to others because of perceptions as well. All right. Let's keep those things in line and keep those things at bay. And so it's important that we're able to do that internally for ourselves and also what we're experiencing in others with our words and our actions. All right. So I want to take a few more moments to give you 2 takeaways as we get closer to the end of our tea time this evening. First of all, I want to thank everyone for being a part of our tea time community. Before we go into the last 2 renewal practices, I'd like you to please put in the comments, what are your takeaways? What is something perhaps that's new for you? Something that's sharpening the saw that you need to remember or put back in practice. All right. So please place that in the comments because we know it's about evolving, it's about renewing, it's about growing, it's about expanding. So please feel free to place that in the comments before we leave for this evening. And I got 2 more that we're going to do. What I'd like to share with all of us is, again, this is our tea time. We are here every first, second, and third Tuesdays at 12 p.m. noon Eastern Standard Time. And in our fourth Tuesdays are at 7 p.m. We apologize again this evening. We started at 7:30, but we started at 7. And so we shared a lot about the Renewal Center, some aspects about who we are and what we do. And so I'd like you, if the Renewal Center or Tea Time has been a value add to you, we are a nonprofit here in North Carolina. We'd like to give you an opportunity to join us in our Spring Giving Challenge. And so here's an opportunity that you can support the Renewal Center. First of all, we want to encourage you to download our mobile app. If you want to stay connected, you can connect to our blog, our audio and video, digital content. We have ways that you can really connect with us with what we're doing in our Wednesdays, Reforming Culture, our Sundays, New You Digital Discipleship, our Tea Time community. You can connect with us on our YouTube channel as well, or all of our social media sites. And so we'd like to give you an opportunity to say, you know what, I'd like to partner with the Renewal Center to support what we're doing. We have a grief recovery practice. We have our on-site cafe here in the Concord area where it's about hospitality, where it's about really reflecting and pausing and building your resilience and strengthening yourself. We have a library called the Thought Room where you go there and you can have some time to just really think and create and expand. And so please feel free, if you're ever in the Concord, Charlotte area, connect with us. And so I just want to give you an opportunity to say, hey, I'd like to support and donate to the Renewal Center in this Spring Giving Challenge. All right. We have a website that you can connect with us, therenewalcenters.com/give. You can also text Renewal Center to 888-364-4483. We also have PayPal and Zelle, the Renewal Center 2020 at Gmail. We have CashApp, Cash Renewal Center, and Venmo at Renewal Center. So I want to thank you for supporting us. I want to thank you for your consideration of being a tea timer and saying, I'd like to really support what you're doing here at the Renewal Center. And so just want to thank you for that, connecting with us. And I want to welcome all those that perhaps this is your first time connecting with the Renewal Center through tea time. All right. So I got 2 last takeaways for us. All right. And let's see what we got going on in the comments, some takeaways. All right. Love Jackie's takeaway is remember to think generationally. All right. Carmela, go ahead. Read the next one.
Nichelle, her takeaway is I'm going to keep crossing the lines.
All right. Thank you so much. Oh,
Takeaway: keep crossing lines. Love, Jackie.
all right. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Anybody else, please keep placing in the comments what your takeaways are. All right. Renita says here, my decisions can impact future generations. All right. Thank you for sharing that. All right. For those of you that got your journals out, all right, I'm going to give you a couple more things, and you can go back and watch this in the replay as well. Here's our last 2 renewal practices for the evening. First of all, I want you to practice this coming month, on redirecting your energy. I want you to think about how you do it through your eating. I want you to think about how to revise an empowering diet. Deleting things from your general diet that can cause you to turn on yourself. Look at what you're eating. Look at when you're eating it. We just did a stress and wellness webinar. Dr. Paul C. Brown did that through the Renewal Center here a few weeks ago. And I tell you, really think about ways you can honor yourself by revising an empowering diet. What do you need to delete? You know how you can delete computers, Control, Alt, Delete? Sometimes we need to Control, Alt, and Delete what we're eating. So delete things from your general diet that could cause you to turn on yourself. All right, that's one other takeaway. Honoring yourself by looking at your diet and saying, I eat well all the time. Wonderful. But we know what our vices are, don't we?
Yes, we do.
Laugh at yourself. Laugh at yourself.
Yeah. Yes.
I laugh at you.
Yes.
Right now, Mom. So laugh at yourself and let's make revisions. Okay. So again, redirect your energy by your empowering diet. And the last one is redefine the word selfish. Redefine the word selfish. How are we going to do that? We're going to nurture our spirit. What nurtures your spirit on a day-to-day basis? Learn to enjoy moments alone. Enjoy moments alone. That means when you leave the house, don't take your phone with you. What? Yes. Take off your iWatch. Take off the thing that keeps you looking at it all the time and just go off. Enjoy moments alone. That's E. L. Love yourself. How are you actually doing that? And really continue to reinforce that. F. Eat fit and feel good. You know, let me just pause here for a moment. For those of you that are working from home or you're on laptops all the time, you might want to program in your phone or even in your laptop, put notifications in there where you have to take a break or stretch. Like even if it's at 9 or noon or take time to stretch. Let it give you a notification to stretch or do something that's physically fit for you so that you can do that on a consistent basis, just to remind you to do that as a habit. All right. Keep fit and feel good. That's F. I. Make your unique needs important. Okay. We're redefining selfish. S. Shower yourself with the gift. Now, this doesn't mean go shopping. That's not what this means. It doesn't mean Amazon Prime. All right. But anyway, we're laughing at ourselves because we're talking to myself too. I get a notification, my package is outside. So,
yes, I do.
Are you giving us permission? You giving us permission to shop?
Oh no. Well, this is about showering yourself with the gift, whatever that means. All right.
Thank you. I'm gonna take you up on this.
We're gonna move on from the S one. Let's go to the last one. Be happy and open-hearted. Be happy and open-hearted. All right. So let's redefine the word selfish. All right, as our last practice this evening, and redirect your energy. Revise an empowering diet. Delete things from your general diet that cause you to turn on yourself. All right. Okay. So again, folks, thank everybody for connecting with us. And let's look at the last few comments. All right. Some takeaways. All right. Miss Anita says to cross the line, not to just draw them. All right. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Ravella says color, live outside the lines. Thank you for sharing that one. You want to read the next one? Carmela, go right ahead.
Yeah, Shalisa, her takeaway is embrace the you. You are becoming to be purposeful, fruitful, relatable, and impactful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Shalisa.
Mm-hmm. Hope this one.
Enjoy moments alone, Renita. Thanks.
All right. All right. I'm going to read this one. Amazon Prime is my bestie. See?
Oh my goodness, this is good.
I love gifts. Lord,
That's right.
that's a fine y'all going out buying stuff. Anyway, all right. Embracing the new practice of sharing myself with the gift. And then she said, amen. All right, well, amen.
That's right. That's right, Renita. Amen.
Amen, Renita. You go ahead. Amen. All right. Very edifying tea time tonight. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being there, being on today. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, everyone, thank you so much. We just have a few announcements we want to share with you. Carmela, you want to share with us what's happening with the ladies, with the women at the well, if you could?
Yes, we are excited. The Women at the Well Bible Study series. We are still studying Becoming a Woman of Purpose by Cynthia Hill. We invite every lady to join us. That's always the first Saturday of the month. And so it is hybrid. So if you can't be on site at the Renewal Center, it starts at 10:30. We have fellowship starting at 10. And then from 10:30 on, we have Bible study. It's been an incredible time of fellowship, and then also diving into that book and becoming more aware of how to become a woman of purpose. And I'm telling you this, we've been learning a lot of insight. So we invite you, if you haven't joined in yet, and there's still time for you to get the book and join us in this journey of this wonderful study. And so you can find out more information on our social media platforms, and then the link is available for you to sign up for the Zooms. So find out more information by going out on our social media to find out how you can get involved with the Women of Becoming a Woman of Purpose, the Women at the Well Bible Study series. And then also we are inviting everyone to come and join us and share communion together. That's going to be this coming Sunday for Resurrection Sunday. That is March the 31st. And you can come join us virtually through Zoom or on site at the Renewal Center. We are encouraging everyone to bring their elements, bring their sacraments, so that we all can observe communion and partake communion together. This is a great time of fellowship, and we're excited about our Resurrection Sunday. So this information also will be on our social media platforms and the mobile app and those places, so you can find out more information on how you can get the Zoom link and join us for communion.
Thank you so much, Carmela. And Hope's going to give us our regular announcements, if you will. All right.
All right. Sure. All right. All right, so it's our Tea Time Tuesday, every first, second, and third Tuesdays at 12 p.m. and our fourth Tuesday at 7 p.m. Invite somebody to join us. All right, and then, of course, our New Year Digital Discipleship on Sundays at 10 a.m. via Zoom. You can find out more information through our mobile app or social media pages. Reforming Culture, that is tomorrow, and we are in the place of understanding the mind of Christ. Please join us at 7:30 p.m. Reformative prayer is held every fifth Wednesdays at 7:30 p.m. We invite you to join us. All right. And then if you know anyone in need of grief recovery or for yourself, we have certified grief recovery specialists that can help you. For more information, contact the Renewal Center for more information. And then we love for you to download the mobile app. Have you downloaded the mobile app? If you have not, please make sure to download it and turn on notifications so that you can stay up to date with all that we're doing as well. All right, then we have the Women at the Well Bible series, the Women's Study, which is the first Saturday of every month. All right, and we invite you again to give to the Renewal Center. We have several ways that you can be able to give. You can give on our website. You can text to give. We have PayPal. We have Renewal Center where you can text from Cash App. We have Zelle. We have Venmo, and if you would like to mail it your check or money order, you can do so to the PO Box information located here on the screen. We invite you to give and connect to the vision of the Renewal Center.
All right. Thank you
All
so much.
right.
And I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And our last comment or this announcement I want to share also is that we have upcoming in April 12th and 13th, we have our 5th prophetic gathering that's coming up, which will be in Atlanta, Georgia this year at the Fayette Event Center there in Fayetteville, Georgia. Our focus this year is the formation of Christ. And so it will be on site and online virtually. So please feel free to register. Go to propheticgathering.eventbrite.com. Again, propheticgathering.eventbrite.com. These are our speakers, our faculty, our facilitators. We'd like you to be there. Our emphasis is about forming Christ among ourselves, among the community of God and within us. And so from Galatians 4:19. And so we'd like you to be a part of that. Again, that is April 12th and 13th. We'll be in Atlanta, Georgia at the Fayette Event Center. You can also register for it online as well. So I want to share that with you. And again, thanks everyone for just being a part of our tea time this evening. Again, I want to remind you about our Spring Giving Challenge. I want to remind you also, please download our mobile app. You want to stay connected. Our content, our digital content is in our mobile app. And also want to encourage you to stop by the Renewal Center and connect with us, 159 Church Street, here in the historic district of Concord. And so from our team to you, we want to say, I am Renewal. Take care of each other. Thank you for being a part of it. I hope that this has really been a strength to you with these renewal practices. So I'm going to actually bring those back up on the screen for you as we close out so you can see them. Let's take a pause before we close out, and let's just locate ourselves one more time and really reflect on what it is that we learned this evening and we're going to be renewed this evening. So again, thank you so much, and we'll see you the next time.